When I look back at my 22-year-old self, I can't help but smile. She was full of energy, hope, and ideas, but she was also naive in ways she didn't yet understand. At 22, I thought I had everything figured out. I had just graduated from college, landed my first real job, and was convinced that the rest of my life would be a smooth ride from one success to another. I thought I knew what I wanted, and I thought I had the tools to get there. But there's so much I didn't know yet. At 22, I believed that success was just a matter of working hard enough and being persistent. I thought that if I stayed focused, did all the right things, and checked off the boxes that society said were important, get a job, make money, work my way up the career ladder, I'd eventually be happy. It seemed so simple. Hard work, right? That's all it took. But at 24, I realized now that I was missing the bigger picture. There's more to life than just checking off boxes, more to success than just following a predetermined path. And looking back, I wish my 22-year-old self had known some of these things. First, I wish I had understood the importance of self-care. At 22, I was so focused on my career and making a name for myself that I often neglected my own well-being. I skipped meals, stayed up late working, and pushed myself harder than I should have. I thought that if I just worked through the exhaustion, if I just kept pushing myself a little more, I would reach the point where I could finally rest. But I was wrong. The truth is, success isn't worth sacrificing your health or happiness for. I didn't realize how important it was to listen to my body, to take breaks, and to prioritize mental health. At 22, I thought I could power through anything, but I now know that without self-care, you burn out. Without taking care of yourself, the success you're working toward starts to lose its meaning. I also wish I had known that it's okay to not have everything figured out. At 22, I was obsessed with the idea of having a clear plan for my life. I thought I should know exactly where I was headed and how I was going to get there. The pressure to have everything planned out was overwhelming. And when things didn't go according to plan, I felt like I was failing. But what I didn't know then was that it's okay to not have a clear direction. It's okay to take time to figure things out. Life doesn't follow a straight line, and it's in the unexpected turns and the uncertainty that we often find the most growth. At 22, I was so fixated on this idea of a perfect linear life that I couldn't see how much I was missing by trying to force everything into a rigid mold. Now, at 24, I understand that life is full of twists and turns, and sometimes the best opportunities arise when you least expect them. It's okay to take the time to explore different paths and to let life unfold naturally, without putting so much pressure on yourself to have it all planned out. Another thing I wish I had known at 22 was the value of failure. At the time, I saw failure as something to avoid at all costs, something that would prove I wasn't good enough or capable enough. I avoided taking risks because I was afraid of failing. I wanted everything to be perfect, and I wanted to succeed on my first try. But what I didn't understand was that failure is not the enemy. It's part of the process. I've learned that failure isn't something to be ashamed of. It's something to learn from. Every mistake, every setback, has been an opportunity to grow. I've failed in more ways than I care to admit, but each failure has taught me something valuable. It's taught me resilience. It's taught me how to get back up, even when I feel like giving up. At 22, I didn't know this. I thought I had to be perfect. And I didn't realize that failure is what shapes us into the people we're meant to become. And let's not forget about relationships. At 22, I thought relationships were supposed to come easily. That if you were with the right person, everything would fall into place. I believed that love was all you needed, and if there were issues, it just meant the relationship wasn't right. But what I didn't understand back then was that relationships, whether with friends, family, or romantic partners, take work. Real love requires communication, understanding, patience, and compromise. At 22, I had a tendency to think that if someone didn't meet my expectations, or if we didn't get along perfectly all the time, it wasn't meant to be. But I've since learned that real relationships are built on acceptance of each other's flaws, imperfections, and differences. They require effort and care, and sometimes things don't always go as planned. But that doesn't mean they aren't worth it. The most important thing I've learned since I was 22 is that life is not a competition. I spent so much time comparing myself to others, worrying that I was falling behind or that I wasn't doing enough. I watched friends and peers achieve things, get promotions, buy homes, or start families, and I felt this constant pressure to keep up. But what I didn't realize then is that life is not a race. We're all on our own journeys, and there's no one-size-fits-all timeline. Just because someone else is moving faster doesn't mean you're behind. Just because they're getting things that you want doesn't mean you won't get them too. It just means your path might look different. I've learned that everyone moves at their own pace, and that's okay. What matters is that you stay true to yourself and your own timeline. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you're not doing enough or that you should be somewhere else by now. But the truth is, you're exactly where you need to be. And that's something my 22-year-old self didn't know yet. At 22, I thought life was all about making the right choices, getting the right job, and following the perfect plan. But at 24, I've learned that it's okay to take detours, to make mistakes, and to find your way on your own terms. It's okay to not have everything figured out. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to fail, as long as you get back up. And it's okay to be on a different timeline than everyone else. What I know now, at 24, is that life isn't about perfection or about having it all figured out. It's about embracing who you are, where you are, and allowing yourself to grow along the way. I may not have known all of this at 22, but I'm thankful for everything I've learned since then, and for the woman I'm becoming because of it.